Hi, everyone. I'm Steve Adubato. We are honored for this entire program to be joined by United States Senator Cory Booker. Senator, good to see you.
It's really good to see you. Thank you for having me on again.
So, Senator, we're doing this program at the end of May. There are no words to describe what happened in Texas in that classroom with 19 children, 2 teachers. As of when we're taping this program, we hope nothing, there are no words to describe it. But then there were incidents before that, and before that, and before that. What do you believe it will take for some of your colleagues in the United States Senate to simply agree on a basic background check?
I mean, that's the painful
thing. Purchase assault weapons. I'm sorry, go ahead, Senator.
No, that's the painful thing, is that Americans, gun owners, Republicans, if you just poll us on simple things like comprehensive background checks to make sure that people who should not have guns, who we all agree should not have the guns, don't get them, we have a 85% or more of Americans agree with that, and we can't get a bill done in Congress to do it. And so I'm frustrated, I'm hurt, I'm angry. I'm just in disbelief that we are a nation that tolerates now such high levels of carnage, where the #1 killer of our children is gun violence. In fact, guns kill more kids than AIDS, than opioids, than influenza, asthma attacks, all of that combined. And so if it's not that, what will it be? And so I'm also at the point now where I really do believe that we should be going to the polls, forget party, just electing people based upon their support of the most moderate steps that we could take to protect ourselves, hold people accountable at the polls, or else I'm not sure if anything will change.
You know, there are going to be people right away in the first 2 minutes of this program who say, you know, Steve, Senator Booker, you, others who bring up issues, and obviously my job is not to have a point of view, but to facilitate a conversation. But, you know, it's misleading to people to talk about background checks or limiting assault weapons to an 18-year-old who purchases them on his 18th birthday and goes into a school and do it. You know what? It is a mental health issue, and it's distracting and confusing. You're smiling because you know that a lot of people are saying, quote, guns don't kill people, people kill people. So the gun safety, gun control discussion is a distraction. And there are millions of them, Senator, millions. And apparently half of your colleagues in the Senate.
Well, the absurdity of that argument, when nations from Canada to England to Germany have our same issues, the same violent video games, the same mental health challenges, the same people that are seduced. I just got back from Germany, seduced by extreme fringes on the internet. But the reason why we are the only nation with this level of carnage is because we're the only nation in which people could so easily access guns. We are an outlier. People who want to talk about American exceptionalism must confront the fact that other nations don't have these crises. And when they have had them, from England to New Zealand to Australia, they implemented tough gun safety measures, and those incidences virtually disappeared. So I'm sorry, all these other things people want to point to, what makes America the country that sees 100+ people of its citizens die every day to gun violence is the guns, is the ease of access to the guns.
What do you think your colleagues are afraid of? I mean, by just finding compromise, and the term gun control is interesting to me, because the term control, you're not going to control my body with a vaccine. You're not going to control me, the Second Amendment. Gun safety, just take control out of it, gun safety. What do you think stops a significant number of your colleagues, enough to not even allow for a vote, because you now need 60, right, with the filibuster situation? What do you think stops some of them who say they care deeply about our children and about gun violence and protecting our children in particular? What do you think stops them from just finding some compromise, just a little bit? And is it purely the gun lobby and the NRA? Is that it?
I don't want to get into the fruitless odyssey of trying to figure out the motivations of my colleagues. I do know one thing, though. I remember when I was mayor, one of my friends joked with me, "You're going to go from a job, Cory, where when you the buck stopped with you, where you're an executive and you're going to go into a legislature, And he goes, unlike you when you were mayor concerned about crime and potholes and fixing things, you're going to a legislature, and my friend told me, where the top three concerns is always going to be re-election, re-election, re-election. And so this to me is just a simple equation. If you don't like the decisions your representatives are making, then replace your representatives. In the Senate races coming up in the fall, from our neighboring state of Pennsylvania to Ohio to Wisconsin to North Carolina, voters will have a real decision to make. Will they support the candidate that will do moderate, common sense measures of gun safety that will keep us safer, or are they willing to just do the roulette that maybe my family won't get hurt by this? Maybe it won't be my school. Maybe it won't be my church. Maybe it won't be my synagogue. Maybe it won't be my supermarket. Well, that is outrageous. We're all in this together. And if it takes the fear of it happening to your family to motivate you, then you don't love your fellow citizens enough. This should be a national demand for all of us, that the government do what it was first organized. Read our founding documents, for the common defense. Well, more people have died in gun violence in my lifetime than in all the American wars combined. Civil War, Revolutionary War, World Wars, all those combined. Less Americans died in all of those wars than have died in the last 50 years due to gun violence. And so if we're going to protect our nation, if we're going to defend ourselves, the first thing we must do is make it difficult, if not impossible, for people who are intent on doing carnage, killing people, from getting guns. And we can do it. And there's evidence-based initiatives. Not one bill is not going to solve everything, but I can look at the data and know that. And some people say, and I heard one of my colleagues on the floor saying, well, Chicago and New York still have violent crime.
I heard that today as we tape this program.
Yeah, they have the toughest gun laws. Well, let me tell you something. As a mayor of a city that had violence, we were able to push the rates down. But when we would trace where the guns came from, they didn't come from New Jersey or New York. They came from the states with the laxest gun laws. You in America, unless we have federal legislation, are only as safe as the closest state to you with the worst gun laws. All the guns, a significant amount of the guns used in crimes in New Jersey are trafficked from out of state where they do not have our same level of gun laws. And by the way, even in states like Connecticut is a great example. The same thing,
Senator Murphy,
the Iron Pipeline. It's called the Iron Pipeline. Guns flow into those states. But when Connecticut passed something simple and said, hey, look, it should not be easier in our state for a 20-year-old to get a gun than get a driver's license. So they said, we're just you have to apply for a license, have some basic safety. Their gun violence rate dropped 14%. So we know the things that people have done from New Zealand and Australia all the way to Connecticut. We know the things that don't eliminate it completely, but make things safer. But until we are a democracy, until people vote for the person that will keep their family safe, nothing will change.
New Jersey's early educators and childcare providers are more than twice as likely to live below the poverty line versus the general workforce. If we want our children to be successful, we need to increase the investment in the people who care for them. It is time to build back better by reimagining the way we support these essential providers. Learn more about the Reimagine Childcare campaign by visiting the website at reimaginechildcare.org.
Also brought to you by New Jersey Sharing Network, Kane University, where Cougars climb higher, the New Jersey Economic Development Authority, the Turrell Fund, supporting Reimagine Childcare, IBEW Local 102, lighting the path, leading the way, Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, here when you need us most, now and always, Veolia, resourcing the world, Holy Name, this place is different, and by Operating Engineers, Local 825,